Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for clicking on this Rank the Movies video. We are moving into WWE Studios month, where we're talking about the films made by a company that has wrestlers. They do wrestling. We're going to talk about a bunch of their movies over the next 4 weeks, so sit back, relax, put on your favorite wrestling tee. Mine is currently Cactus Jack for this week and next week. And enjoy some content brought to you by me, Martin Prevost, here at Rank the Movies, because we're talking about the Steve Austin helmed movie. Actually, it's Steve Austin and Randy Orton. That's right, we're talking the Condemned movies. Of course, there are 2 movies in this series. Each week we'll be looking at least 2 movies. 1 week we'll be looking at 3. Like I said, this week we're starting with The Condemned. First off, we'll talk about the original Condemned movie. The first one, this is one of WWE Studio's original films. This with Walking Tall and The Marine were some of the first movies that they put out as a studio. No Holds Barred is a movie WWE had influence in, but it is not one of their produced films. This one, of course, stars Stone Cold Steve Austin as our main character. Basically, it is the old school movie where you have a bunch of people put into a contest where they have to kill each other to survive. It's very Battle Royale-esque in that piece of its content, and it would kind of be like the Hunger Games in the future, because they definitely have that piece of information as well in their movies. But this movie, I believe, it predates the Hunger Games movies. I don't think it predates the books, but I know it does. It did come out before the first movie did. The catch here is that the people who are playing this game of survival are all convicts on death row in various foreign countries. None of them come from America because the U.S. would not sanction any of their inmates to participate in this kind of game. Not to mention the prize is the last person standing gets their freedom. So basically, Steve Austin is a last-minute replacement. One of their contestants is brutally killed in a prison riot before he can be taken to be part of this live. This movie came out in the era of the live, reality television on the internet. Death Race and Halloween Resurrection, 2 movies I've talked about in the past, have this exact same concept. So one of the low points of this movie is that it did just have that same kind of reality TV on the internet kind of concept behind it. The convicts are taken to the island, and some of them begin to kill each other to try to win. Other ones try to plan escapes and just try to survive. You don't get a lot of character development with the various inmates. The other wrestler in this movie is Nathan Jones. After he was done being a very bad wrestler, this was it for his WWE time, was being the first person Steve Austin kills in this movie in the actual Condemned Island. He has no dialogue and dies real quick. But yeah, it's a movie about survival. I always put it towards Battle Royale, which is a great Japanese film with a very similar plot, except that one is school children who are put in this game of survival. Of course, it comes down to Steve Austin and Vinnie Jones are the last 2 standing. Everyone thinks Austin is dead, so Vinnie Jones is claimed as the winner, and he is brought to the compound where the creator of this show and his crew have been live streaming and getting it on the internet and doing their part in it. He massacres most of them because they're kind of giant douchebags. They were televising murder. So they got coming to him. But he's doing it because he wants something more than just his freedom. He feels like he was promised more than just his freedom. Also, the FBI or CIA, a government agency, has found out where the island is and are coming to arrest people. Because, well, this is kind of an FCC violation in some way, shape, or form. Austin is alive. He sneaks into the command center, beats Vinnie Jones, and then destroys the main antagonist of this film, who is the creator of The Condemned, who's just kind of a giant asshole who's looking to have more viewers than the Super Bowl. Which is a great goal. Good on you. I like this movie. It's not like a really deep dive kind of movie. It's very much on the surface is what you get. Austin does a good job in it. Vinny Jones, everyone does a good job in it. This is also an early movie for Manu Bennett, who is in Spartacus. He is Slade Wilson on Arrow, and he's done a bunch of other stuff. I like him as an actor. I really do. I think he's a very good actor. And he's also in this as one of the convicts. Yeah, overall, I like The Condemned. This is one of my favorite WWE Studio films. And it's definitely one that's always had a place in my heart, and I've always liked it since the first time I watched it. So after a while, they decided to follow up The Condemned with The Condemned 2. The world's deadliest game is back online. That's kind of a misnomer for this movie. Austin is not involved in this movie. This time it is the legend killer, Randy Orton, taking a shot at being the star of a WWE Studios film. The Condemned 2 looks at a group of bounty hunters who break into a gambling operation ran by Wes Studi of Mystery Men fame and a bunch of other stuff. He runs very weird gaming, such as we're going to pump drugs into these two people with heart rate monitors on them, and you're going to bet on who flatlines first. That's the actual game they're playing. These bounty hunters break in, people get shot, in the leg mostly, but a couple elsewhere, and eventually Wes Studi is killed. So the bounty hunters are held responsible for it, and, you know, they can't be bounty hunters anymore. I don't think, nobody does any real prison time, though there is a trial. A couple of months later, Randy Orton is just, you know, doing his job. He's now a tow truck driver, where he runs into one of his old bounty hunting teammates. There's about 6 of them total, and his teammate tries to kill him. He ends up overpowering him and killing his teammate. It's self-defense, so he is let go. He returns home after calling his father, played by Eric Roberts, and who's also an ex-bounty hunter, because that's how these movies work. It's always a family business. They are confronted by one of his other former bounty hunter associates who drives him into the desert, where he kind of tells him, where you kind of start learning what's going on, that the person who was kind of Wes Studi's right-hand man has decided to use these people in revenge for their boss by recreating The Condemned. It was an idea he saw on the internet years ago, so it's the connection to the first movie, and he wants to do it better because they didn't have gambling in theirs. So basically people are gambling on if Randy Orton's character will live through each of the challenges, or if one of his old bounty hunting teammates will kill him because he's threatened them all with death if they do not participate. Orton eventually overpowers the second member of his team and finds out that his sniper, because all bounty hunter teams have a sniper, is out in the rocks trying to shoot him. He avoids getting shot, a cop gets shot, and runs into the third member of his ex-bounty hunter team, who is not going to try to kill Randy Orton, wants to work with him to take down this evil gambling operation and stop The Condemned before more people die. So he has a friend, but now they need to figure out what to do about Sniper, who is still sniping people, and the explosives, I guess there's 5, and the explosives expert, oh, there's 6, and the explosive expert, who is yet to be seen. Eventually they find the explosive expert, and they're able to talk him into joining them as well, as Snipey keeps sniping, but missing any of our main characters. They eventually, with Eric Roberts' help, track down the lair of our evil gambling kingpin, who decides to put himself into the game, so people can bet on him to see if he'll live or die, in the goal to kill Randy Orton. And he fights Randy Orton, Sniper is killed, Randy Orton kills the lead gambler, and everyone lives happily ever after. And this movie's shit. Plain and simple, this is a bad movie. You know, I love the original Condemned. It's a guilty pleasure movie. It's not a great movie, but it's a fun movie. This one bored the hell out of me from start to finish. Like, Randy Orton isn't a great actor. He's a good wrestler. He does good promo work, but he is not a great actor. This man kind of just stunk on screen, for the duration of the film, and he's your main character, so I didn't feel anything for him. You know he's not going to die just because of the way, I mean, you know Austin's not going to die either in the original, but you just don't care as much because you don't really care about the character that Randy Orton is portraying. Overall, I say watch The Condemned if you've never seen it. It is a pretty good movie from WWE Studios. Skip the sequel. It ain't worth the time to actually sit down with it. It is just such a weird deviation that is so loosely based on the original concept. It's just not worth checking out. So, definitely pass on Randy Orton's acting skills in The Condemned 2. The World's Deadliest Game is back online. Again, they're not really online. They're literally in a warehouse gambling. Physically gambling. They're physically in person. It's not back online. Gah! Alright, so that's The Condemned from WWE Studios and its sequel. Next week we're moving on to a trilogy of films because we're gonna go 12 rounds. That's right. I will see you next week. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and come back next week for 12 rounds, and it's 2 sequels. I am Martin Prevost. This is Rank the Movies, and I'll see you next time.